with me, and I am a rambler. I like to talk. That's why my shit is called Mad Social. So Mad Social, we're going to talk about nursing. We're going to talk about personal experiences, and we're also going to talk a little bit about travel, because this is my first travel assignment, so I'm not going to really say about travel, but we can talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it. Hi guys, my name is Raven, and welcome to Mad Social. Welcome. A little bit about myself. I am a 25-year-old nurse. I am a registered nurse. I am from Chicago, Illinois, and I've been a nurse for 8 months. And before I was a nurse, I was a nurse technician slash CNA for about 3.5 to 4 years. I have a 5-year-old daughter. Her name is Reagan. That's my good girl. She get on my damn nerves because we the same person. She just in a little person's body. But yeah. A little bit about myself, like my educational background. I graduated from a city college, which is a community college, City Colleges of Chicago. I went to Malcolm X, and I graduated in December of 2019. I can go a little bit later. We're gonna go into like my detailed education. And right now, if you're looking behind me, I am in Austin, Texas for my first travel assignment. Yay! So a little bit about my education. I went to King College Prep, which is a college preparatory on 44th and Drexel, which is like the south side of Chicago. It is a selective enrollment school, le bougie. So there they push college education, like to prepare for college. So in my mindset, I'm thinking, you know, we was all pushed to go to 4-year universities, you know, go to a 4-year university. So community college education was really kind of downplayed in a sense. And yeah, I ended up at the University of Missouri, which is like 8 hours from Chicago. It's called Mizzou, University of Missouri at Columbia. It's called Mizzou. And I did 1 year there because of finances. That school's like $20,000 a year. Financial aid only covered about I got 12, and I was like $8,000 short, in a sense. And I'm like, okay, well, one of my parents can apply for a Parent Plus loan. That didn't happen. So I worked 2 jobs while at Mizzou, and basically didn't give him a damn dollar while I worked in 2 jobs because I still had to sustain. So yeah, I came back home to Chicago like at the end of the 2nd semester. So like May 2014, I came back home. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to figure something out. I can't just be a high school graduate. I'm gonna have to do something. I started working at Target, and Target was like the icing on the cake. I was like, fuck no. I worked at the Target that was on Roosevelt. I was really excited to work there because I always wanted to work at Target in high school, and it's about the ghettoest experience. Besides being a nurse, I learned that I don't like people. Ain't nothing wrong with people. I can converse with people all day, but people just have really ignorant characteristics about themselves. Yeah, so working there, I was there for like 2 years. Working there, I figured out that this wasn't it. So I'm like, let me get my ass back in school. So I applied to a City College of Chicago. I went to Truman. I applied to Truman because that's where my brother was going. So I applied for Truman. I got in. I got in. I started, and again, I already knew what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a nurse. So I was matching my curriculum with the University of Chicago. Still at this time, I thought I was going back to a university. Later found out that shit was cooked. That shit was super dead. I did like my first semester there. I maintained a 3.8 GPA. I'm by far not dumb at all. I maintained my 3.8 GPA. I was taking statistics. I was taking 2 English classes. I think that's what I did. Yeah, that's what I did first, because I wanted to pace myself to see how easy that this would be. I'm like, all right, let me, figure this out. I fucked up at Mizzou. Let me make sure I do this time right. Did that. I passed that, and yeah, I'm like, okay, so I can do it. I can take about 2-3 classes in one semester and still be cool. My second semester, I signed up for biology, chemistry, and I had like an easy class, like an elective class. It's easy as hell. It was like a movie cinema class, easy as fuck. In that second semester, I found out I was pregnant. So I tried to keep up, and at that time, the teacher that I had for biology, I forgot his fucking name, but I remember that he was on a board of nursing, like that approved students to get into nursing, and he would tell me like, you want to go into nursing program, if you can't get past this easy class, there's no way that you're going to survive. What the bam. And I was maintaining like maybe like a C average. Yeah, and he definitely bumped my shit down, telling me shit like that throughout the semester. And then when I found out I was pregnant, I just couldn't. So I ended up dropping the classes. I had my baby, came back to school, redid that whole second semester over, redid biology, I redid chemistry, and I was thugging that shit out. It wasn't easy, but I made an A in both them classes. Like, now, to prove to him, like, now, who are you talking to? And I just had a newborn. Like, what's up? So I made it through that, and I did all the prerequisites that I needed to apply to a nursing program. Once I found out that I couldn't go back to a university, I was planning to apply to the nursing program at the community colleges. Right when I was about to apply, like right there, they was like, oh, we added a new requirement. You gotta get your CNA license. I'm like, ain't this about a bitch? So I'm like, okay, I took that shit with a grain of salt. I'm like, all right, this gonna keep pushing me back. I went to try to get my CNA. I was talking to one of my good girls from Mizzou that was still in the tracks of getting her nursing degree. Her name was Carlene. We kept in touch all of this time, but Carlene was where I wanted to be at. Like, I wanted to be at a university on my way to obtaining, on my way to applying to a program at a university to obtain my bachelor's degree. So in my mind, and nobody still knows this to this day, but now she does know, in my mind, I'm secretly competing with Carlene. It wasn't like a jealousy thing, but it was to keep me on track. So I'm mentally competing with Carlene. She didn't even worry about my ass for real, but I'm mentally competing with Carlene. So I'm like, damn, they steady pushing me the fuck back. I'm trying to, get done by this stuff. I was giving myself deadlines to finish by, and that was unrealistic as fuck, because I done had all this stuff happen to me in this short amount of time that made my stuff different versus Carlene's. But I still made it through. But anyway, yeah, I had to go obtain my CNA license. I ain't gonna call it my certificate. I'm sorry. I had to get my CNA certificate. It was an 8-week program. I found 2. Carlene recommended one, and that was at Nirvana Institute. It's on 47th and King Drive. They wanted $1,000. I'm like, that's a lot of fucking money. I don't have. I can't do that. So I was trying to seek other options. They was like, oh, we can put you on a payment plan. I'm just like, I don't think that's gonna work. So I end up finding out that Malcolm X offers a CNA course, and you can use financial aid to apply to their CNA course. I'm like, that's it. Take me over there. 8-week course, fast paced. I was there for 8 hours a day. And I was so excited to become a CNA. It wasn't funny. It was crazy how excited I was. I'm just like, I'm getting my feet wet. I'm getting in there. Like, I'm finally on the right track. It's the only thing that I need to apply to the program. All right. So I did the program and we had to do clinicals at the very end. And we did our clinicals at Symphony of Evergreen on 87th, like in Evergreen Park. And I will never forget that shit. In my mind, after that, I've seen some shit. I'm just like, yeah, nursing homes aren't for me. Like, I can't work at a nursing home. So I finished that. By the grace of God, I finished that. And then at this time, I was working for Amazon, I think. I ended up leaving Target. Went to work at the airport. Left that shit. Went to go work. I changed jobs. Like, I changed clothes. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had a job like every couple months and I was constantly getting them. I was gone. Cause I value myself. So whatever. So I ended up working for Amazon delivering packages. And I fucking hated that job. First of all, if you know me, I am a fucking klutz. I'm clumsy as shit. I trip over my damn shoes because I am pigeon-toed. So it wasn't for me. It just, you got to work in like cold weather. You still got to go deliver packages. I was just like, oh, fuck no. No. So on one day, I had a route. I had hella packages. But I was riding past. I was in Palos Hills. And I was riding past and I seen this rehab center that said CNAs needed. Baby, I bust a fucking big ass U-turn in that fat ass van and parked in their parking lot. And I went inside in my fucking work uniform and grabbed the application. And I ended up getting a call back from them. So I interviewed and I got the job as a CNA and I was so excited. So excited. And my time there, it was basically a nursing home. But I was so excited to be there. So I really didn't care. I was so happy. Because I'm like, I'm finally getting the experience that I need. This is going to help me. What the damn? I got it. And while I was there, I met an amazing nurse. Her name is Talisha. She was similar to my age. Like, she was real close to my age. I think she a little bit older than me. She was like probably like a year older than me. And I'm like, damn. I found out that Talisha went to, she had an associate's in nursing. And she, like, we had like a couple of talks and she was like, yeah, like basically like, you know, I do the same thing. I said that and I took the NCLEX. She was like, the only difference between ADN nursing and BSN nurses is basically a couple of theory classes. And you can do that. Like, you can get there. Like, you know, like, don't detour. Like, you got it. Like, you know, basically get on your shit and do what the fuck you need to do. And me and Talisha became real close. That was my girl. Still my girl. That's crazy. But like, I had a couple of people like basically pushing me to really apply myself and get into the nursing program. That was like July. In August, I applied for Malcolm X nursing program. I did all my prerequisites. I had my CNA. I was working as a CNA. I took my T's test and I'm like, I got it. I got it. I can get in. So I applied. Baby, I remember I was harassing the people because they were supposed to call me back and tell me, they were supposed to give me an answer like somewhere in August, and I didn't hear from them. I was harassing the fuck out of Malcolm X nursing office. Baby, one day them people called me. I was at home with my friend and I broke down on the phone when they told me I got accepted. And this is August of 2017. Honey, I was just so excited. So I originally started the program in August of 2017. I was still working at Stratford Bria. And I'm like, this ain't it either. Like, oh, I don't like it here. I was like, I need to get somewhere basically where I know that they can pay for my education. So I was aiming towards working at a hospital that did like tuition reimbursement. So I started my first semester in August of 2017 at Malcolm X. The very first semester, you take fundamentals of nursing. I was also taking another class. I think I was taking like I was taking anatomy. I was taking anatomy 1. with the fundamental of nursing, and I don't recommend it. I failed that damn semester. Both classes. I failed both classes. I wouldn't recommend. I strongly suggest against it, honestly. Don't do it. Because you learn in nursing and in nursing school that it ain't nothing like any other classes you took. All them sciences that you took is no. You have to get an 80 percentile to be considered passing, and that's a C. An 80 is a C in nursing school. You got to get an 80 percentile. And at the time, you know, I didn't know what all nursing school was about. When you go to nursing school, you have to mentally prepare yourself and change your study habits. Like, you will learn that you got to learn the information. You got to learn the information like any other course. But what differentiates between like a nursing course and like a regular course is that you got to apply what you just learned to a situation. They're not going to say verbatim like, you know, what the fuck do you learn in torts? Let's talk about torts of nursing, if I can fucking remember that. But no, let's talk about, let's say, for example, what the hell? I'm trying to think of something like real simple, like CHF, which is chronic heart failure, right? So you'll learn everything that you need to learn about chronic heart failure. You'll learn the signs and symptoms. You'll learn nursing education, like what you got to teach your patient. You got to learn all of this, right? When you go to take a test about CHF, they're not going to ask you any of that shit like verbatim. They're going to ask you to apply it to a situation. Like, you have a patient, a 57-year-old patient that is suffering from CHF. He came in with certain symptoms like edema, which is swelling in the lower extremities. And what is the nursing precaution that you need to take with this patient? You can be like, nigga, what? I was confused as fuck. I'm like, what did you ask me? I didn't know how to answer them questions. And I didn't have nobody around to tell me what I needed to do, right? And that's why we're here. That's why I want to make this channel for real. To prevent people from making the same mistakes that I made. Like, you know, smooth the process for you a little bit as much as possible. But I didn't have nobody really telling me how to study for nursing school, what I needed to know. And I wasn't even looking at going to my resource. I didn't go to a tutor. I didn't do none of that. Like, I thought I can just handle it on my own. And that failed horribly. I failed by 0.5 my first semester. I failed the semester by 0.5. I literally had a 79.5. You need an 80% to pass. I had a 79.5. And it was like, you're going to have to repeat this. You're going to have to repeat the whole course. So that means I would have to repeat lecture. I would have to repeat the clinical parts of the fundamentals. I would have to repeat the lab part of fundamentals. And that was a blow to my confidence. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what am I supposed to do? So I changed all of my study habits. I changed the way that I was doing stuff. And like, you know, ideally I was going to try to cut down in my hours when I was at Stratford Brea, that rehab place. I was going to cut down my hours, you know, so I can really focus. And guess what ended up happening in 2018? January of 2018, I ended up getting a job at the University of Illinois Hospital and Medical Center, Health Center, Systems, whatever they want to call it. So I started working at UIC. And this was a place that basically did, it was called a tuition waiver, right? If you are a full-time employee, they will pay for you to go to an Illinois state school. I'm like, look at God. I'm like, look at God. Like, I can finish this and in my mind, I'm like, I can finish everything I need to do and I can go back and I can get my bachelor's. Like, everything worked out. And I end up working on a neurosurgical intensive care unit. So the same thing that my grandma passed away from, that brain aneurysm, I was dealing with those patients, and I'm just like, this is my grandma. I was a CNA for about 6 months, if that, and I don't know how I got that job. Woo, still grateful to this day. But yeah, I failed that first semester. My job wasn't looking up. I was miserable, and then when I went back to repeat the semester, I made sure that I took all the necessary precautions to make sure I passed. I was sleeping for 4 hours. I went to work at night, slept, and depending on what time my class was, I go home and I sleep for probably like 2 hours, go to school, and do that shit all over again. Literally, throughout nursing school, I think I literally slept 3 to 4 hours a day. I didn't have time to study at home, so I studied at work. I cried a lot during nursing school, but you got to sacrifice. I didn't see my kid for 2 years, 2.5 years, because I had to redo that semester. I didn't see my kid for 2 years for real. I didn't really get to spend no time with her. I just felt like a terrible fucking person, but I really put my tunnel vision on, and I'm like, we got to get this shit through. And look at me now, like I'm a nurse. But yeah, you're gonna encounter all these obstacles, but I really say it is a marathon. It's not a race. Like, you just keep pushing, do what you need to do to get through. And nursing school ain't easy, and I be so excited when people that's around me or somebody that I encounter on social media says they're going to like nursing school, and I'm the first person to throw you tips. If you need me, call me. I don't give a fuck if I'm asleep. Wake me up and I help you, because I didn't have nobody to really tell me what to do, like what resources to use. I didn't really have that help, and I'm gonna be that help for y'all. If you ever need me, I will drop my social media in the comments below. You could DM me, you can FaceTime me, we get cool. You can FaceTime me and I'll help you study. We gonna get it together. I really think, like, this is like, I've been a nurse for 8 months. I was a CNA for 4 years. So I get the CNA aspect, I get the nursing aspect, and now I'm on my first travel assignment as a nurse for 8 months. Like, they tell you that you can't do it. Yeah, bullshit. I'm living proof that you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. I went through nursing school with a newborn baby. I worked full time and went to school full time. I didn't drop down not once. I failed multiple times, but I figured out a way to make that shit work. Like, don't ever let nobody tell you that you can't do nothing, because you can. But that's my first episode. I gave you my background in nursing, and the next episode will probably be shot like next week, and we're going to talk about my first job. So subscribe. Do not forget to subscribe so you can hear me run my mouth. I know this one was a little unorganized. This is about the 15th video I made. I am so sorry, but the next one will be a little bit more organized. Let's follow my journey, and I will be a resource if you need me to, honestly. I want to see everybody win.